Good morning, everybody, and happy Sunday morning. It's February 18th, 2024, and it is 10:56 on the AM on the East Coast. I'm Nighthawk, one of your hosts, and I'll bring Eric on here shortly after we do the opening credits and announcements and everything, and we'll get started on today's topic, and good Lord knows where we're going to end up after that. Okay, we'll start with the old elemental thing that we started on Eric's channel last night, and we'll go from there and see where the Woo train takes us. Okay, so hope everybody's on board. Keep your hands and your legs and your feet in the cart at all times. And if we pass go, I get the $200. Okay, so here we go. Let's say copyright disclaimer for this channel. Nighthawk High Strange, this podcast channel may use some copyrighted materials without specific authorization of the owner, but contends that it falls under the Fair Use Act, the Copyright Act of 1976. Okay, breathe. All right. Nighthawk High Strange, this podcast channel, and all the podcasts on the channel declare fair use of any and all content, including the music, to be used for the purpose of informing you, the viewing family, of information for educational purposes, general knowledge, criticism, commentary, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, research, parody, and entertainment value only, per Title 17, subsection 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. Oh, I'm surprised I had the wind in my lungs to take care of that. All right, let me get that off of there. All righty. Bear with me, folks. And I go blowing right past it on the screen. Hold on. There we go. Let's get that off of there. Good morning, everybody. And let me get my camera on and go to the comments and say hello to everybody, because I know Melissa's in the house, Cynthia's in the house, David's in the house. We know my brother Eric's here. Let's see. Who else we got? Oh, man. Let's see. Good. All right. Internet is spotty today because I'm guessing because of the weather, because we got freezing rain and snow on top of that last night. So I'm guessing they're still probably cleaning off the satellite dishes on the ground. So, bear with us. If we lose contact with everybody, we'll come right back on again. So, you all know to hang on for the Woo Train ride. Good morning, good to see you. And there's my lovely wife, Tracy. All right. Let's see. And Eric is in the house with us again, my brother. And Eric, we had a very, very interesting. Um, you're the EVPs that you were picking up and the voice box and stuff that you were using, and I don't know what other equipment you're using, but I guess those would be the two main ones. For getting the audio and stuff and the actual confirmations from the Woo and the unknown. So what we ended your program yesterday after a 2-hour stream with elementals. Now, I know Melissa in the chat was saying yesterday that she had to go because she was going to brush up on learning about elementals. So we're going to pick Melissa's brain too today and see if she did her homework. Okay. Because there are many different types of elementals. Okay. Because technically you can classify the Fae within that group, okay, of elemental. But, we as native people, indigenous people, believe the Fae are just part of the environment. They're connected to Mother Earth. So, just like elementals. And that's where that connection of putting them in the same group goes into, okay, as far as being Native American goes. So, Eric, what do you think about the elemental? I mean, is that a possibility on your property?
It very well could be. I mean, I'm very in tune with my property. Um, I respect my land. Um, which, if you go on the ferry side of it, the Fay side, which is ferries, um, that is one of the things. If you want them on your property, is you need to have respect for your property. And that's what I do. Um, So the possibility of it, yeah, I'd say it is. I'm not as for me. My knowledge on elemental is the four elements of earth, and there's a spirit with each four elements of earth. You got air, water, earth, and fire, and there's more than just one of those spirits.
Morning,
But I mean,
Stuart.
that's your uh,
I
oh.
just said good morning
Uh,
to Stuart. I'm going to say good morning to people while you talk.
No worries, no worries. I was sitting there doing my little chat thing in there to say good morning, everybody. I hope I didn't miss no one. So that's been my knowledge. So I was doing some research last night because it was curiosity, because of the stuff I've got in the last couple of weeks, which we talked about backstage. I find very interesting. It's I had issues trying to put things together because I was thinking paranormal side only. And then when you brought up elemental, all of a sudden things started clicking. Now, some of the stuff I would say is paranormal, because it talks about marriage, it talks about doctor, him, torture, closet, stop, iron, give it to me, stressed, leave here, water, psychic, torture, third, scream, quickly, no, I dead, it's inside, do you see him, not, window, portal, Judy, and the list goes on and stuff it talks about, which tells me that there could be both the elemental side and the paranormal side that I'm dealing with. Now, on my when I'm doing EVPs, I have a deal on my phone. I can't record, so I'll put it on the shelf already. So if I'm doing an EVP and I'm getting voices, I've got my digital recorder over there, which my digital recorder is supposed to catch a wider spectrum than just what this does. And so I'll turn this on, turn the digital
Right.
recorder on, and we'll just sit here and talk and let it come to us. Um, so I find that fascinating. So when I was doing research last night, I realized that I am very, very unknowledged on elementals because my knowledge wasn't what I thought it was. Considering, like I said before, the phaser in that. Uh, there's so much supernatural entities all around the world. It just depends on where you're at on what they consider an elemental. Here in the
Right.
United States on the Native American side, they'd be spirits of the woods or, whatever, water, air, fire, earth, which makes sense. I don't know. I know on my show I've showed it, but I forgot what fairy it is. It's a tree fairy that if it's in the area, you'll find faces on the tree. And I forgot the name of that. I could look that up real quick. But I have that stuff on my property. Um, the photo I did take, I actually have one on from my property too, but I can't remember where I put that at. Let me move this over here so I can see. Um,
Do you know that
but
if you show an elemental, whether it's a fae or like Melissa's bringing up right now, a gnome, or something along that lines, or even just like an elemental of a tree elemental, um, an earthen
mhm,
elemental, a fire, a water, and all the other elementals. If you show them unconditional respect and unconditional love, they will help you every moment of your life.
yeah. So to have that going right now is such a great honor. Dryads is what I was thinking. Um, those are the ones
Yeah.
that normally you find them you can find them with a tree that has a face in it. And I can get in here real quick. and I'll upload a photo. This one wasn't from my property. I've got to figure out where I put the one from my property at. But still, it conveys what I'm talking about. This one here,
Right.
I was doing the documentary with Linda Eastburn. When I came across this, I was like, I've got to snap a picture of this. This is something that you're not going to see every day. So while I'm looking for that, we can talk about some other stuff. But that has been my knowledge. So I was having to do some research to get caught up on my knowledge on it, because I was like, like I said, I honestly didn't know as much as I thought I knew. I thought I knew a lot more. So I found it. Let me get over here to your pictures. Get down here to the bottom. Okay. I need into odd pics. Go ahead, brother.
I just wanted to comment on Melissa and Tracy's comments here. Tracy brings up a good point too, that it is orgs too, and pixies, like, and all that too. So
yeah, which pixies are in the fairy category. They're
everybody actually, yeah, everybody basically thinks that the earth is just dirt and and granite and iron ore and all that, and trees, and basically they don't think like the earth is a living thing, a living, breathing thing. Okay. Right. And it is. Makawakan, Sacred Mother Earth, as we call her in Lakota, is such a special thing for us to embrace, because she's our earthen mother. Okay. And like when we go and do Humblacia, okay, the Inipi ceremony, the Lodge ceremonies, we get in there, we use 7 stones for the 7 directions, and it's just, it's such a connection that you feel within the sweat lodge when you're in the hottest place other than Hades that you could be in, for a long duration of time. And every time that door opens on that sweat lodge and you see all that steam bellowing out, and the hot red fiery rock comes in on the pitchfork into the center fire, and we take our sage water and we splash it, and we take our cedar stick and we touch it and say, Tungashila, please come to us. Wakantanka, talk to us, give us a sign, and Makawakan, Sacred Mother Earth, bless us today with a vision, and we get these intense visions. Okay. We get these so intense visions and connection to Mother Earth through that ceremony that most people would never be able to fathom, ever. And that's the thing, and no disrespect to people for that, because there is such a connection with the indigenous peoples of every nation and the elementals. Okay. So that being said, go ahead and explain a little bit more about what happened, if you could, Derek. Okay. And thank you, Tracy, and Melissa, for the comments. That was great.
I found that photo. So when you're dealing with the dryad part of the fae, when you find a tree like this in your woods, you see the eyes, the nose, the mouth. That is a common indicator that you have one in the woods. And like I said, this one wasn't the one on my property. I got to figure out what I did with the one on my property, which I know where it's at. Push comes to shove, I can hobble my little butt out there and take a photo. So last night, it said, what was it? Look out the window, if I remember correctly. Yeah, there you go. And
Now this Eric is what we call chaga. Okay, this is the stuff that grows off the sides of the tree, and that we take and we pound into a real fine powder, and we make hot
Mm.
drinks out of it, with water,
Hmm.
and it's like a tea, and it is one way that we as indigenous people, especially the elders, connect even closer to Mother Earth because we're drinking part of her. It's like when Jesus told
Mm.
everybody, "Drink my blood," because it'll cleanse you, and it's the same thing with us with the chaga. So I just wanted to show everybody that.
Oh yeah. And so what was interesting about last night, I'm trying to remember word for word what it said. I'm still trying to go over the recording on my digital recorder, see if I missed anything. Um, Basically, it said, look out the window. And when I did, it said portal. And at that moment, I had a rush of energy, kind of like swirling energy that shot through my body. And then so I mean, I thought that was cool. Which water. It was talking about water, which I have water right outside my window. I have the outside water dish for the animals right outside my window here, and my water faucet for outside is right out this window here. So I was like, okay, so I mean, this is obviously an intelligent being we're talking to. There's no disputing that at all. So as I was sitting back here talking one time, I had that rush of feeling hit me again, and that's when William said, "You have four elementals around you right now," and I was like, "Holy cow!" And it was the same exact feeling that I had when I was trying to look out that window when it said "Look out." You know,
Mhm.
now there is different things besides that going on here. There is some. Um, what's the proper word I'm trying to think?
Spirits.
Not so good ones. I mean, there is paranormal activity, a lot of that here too. Which, like I said, some of this I wonder if it ain't a mixture of the two. Uh, Unfortunately, what I have on here doesn't discern between male and female, which I've got to get the right equipment to do that. And yeah, Melissa, you're absolutely right. Um, and I am, because even I know, if you had to be able to be spoken to by an elemental is a very rare thing. You really got to have your cards right, because, and I can't remember what order it is off the top of my head. I believe water is emotions, and they help you with your emotions. Earth, I believe, is they help you with your physical being. Fire, I believe, they help you with your spiritual being, and air, I think, they help you with your mental being, if I remember correctly. So, I mean, the fact that I'm
Yep.
trying to get
True.
all that in my life uh, centered correctly, and I have them four elementals helping me, that's awesome. It means I'm doing the right thing. Because you can't just be some Joe Blow that comes
Yep.
off the street and goes, I want to have this, you know? Stuart, what
Exactly.
happened?
Yep.
So, on you'll have to go on my YouTube to catch the full effect of it. So I'll break down what happened, Stuart. So 3 weeks ago, I was showing off some EVPs that I had here on our campfire chat. My campfire chat with Eric and Guest is a non-formal live that I do. It's basically where we just come together like good old boys and girls and sit around the campfire talking about our encounters. Uh, so I was showing off some EVPs that I had caught, because sometimes I'll lay in bed and all of a sudden I get that feeling that there's something else here with me. And back when I was able to record on this, because I don't pay for this program, so I only got so many recordings that won't record them more. That's why I have to use my digital recorder now when I'm doing this. So I was showing some of them off. Well, I had gotten off of it and was getting back on trying to show some more things, and all of a sudden, bam! I started getting hits. I mean, right off the bat, just boom, boom, boom. Well, that's what happened on there. So when I do my show Saturday night at 5, the campfire chats with Eric and guest, if there's not a lot going on, I'll turn that EVP on so we can listen to it and go over it. And so that's when, I mean, and every weekend I do that. And you can ask Melissa, David, they're there a lot. Ray's there a lot. I'll get a lot of hits, quite often. Now, there is something out here, which William and I have talked about this a few times, because to me it's kind of narrowed. I've narrowed it down to two possibilities. I have not seen what this is, but how it acts kind of suggests it's definitely one of these two things. And which William thinks it's a ghoul, which is one of the things I think it is. It's a very possibility. So the background on that, I had ran out of gas at the end of my drive. And it's a little bit of a walk to the end of my drive. I live way off the road. You can't see my house from the road, off the dirt road. You can't. As I was walking back, which I have these videos on my YouTube channel as well, I kept hearing something that sounded like a dog bark way back there towards the end of the road. And it was over here by my house to the north of my house in the tree line. And the closer I got, the more I realized that's not a dog bark. That's something trying to mimic my dogs. And you'll hear it bark 3 times. Then you hear all my dogs in my house bark 3 times. They were responding whatever it was in the tree line to my north. So I popped out my video recorder and was trying to catch it. And I realized, oh crap, my light is on. It's going to see my light. And about the time I put it to my chest is when you hear the 3 mimic barks. And then all of a sudden it realized I was there and you didn't hear crap from it. And I just got washed with this overwhelming feeling of whatever this is bad. This is evil. Whatever this is not here for a good reason. It is here to hunt. I mean, that is the best way I can describe what it was. So I came back to the house, which when I left my truck, something told me to grab my pistol. And I was like, man, I've walked these woods for 31 years in the dark and everything else. I know every inch of my property. And I didn't do it. So whenever the roadside guy had came back, because I didn't have enough gas to put in my truck to get it started, I started hearing something on my pop-up camper by my shop. And I shot around, hit it with a light, and there was nothing there. But I literally heard it on top of my pop-up camper, which was about 15 foot from me to my left. I was like, this thing is stalking me. I know that feeling. I've been stalked by humans. I've been stalked by cougars. I know the feeling of being stalked and hunted. And that was the best way I can describe what my feeling was at that moment. So I got back to the truck. As soon as I got back to the truck, I grabbed my pistol, took it off safe, and set it in my lap. I was like, if it's going to come after me, I'm going to make it earn its dinner. Honestly, that was my mindset. While I was sitting in my truck, it felt you could hear stuff like tree limbs on all different parts of my truck, but you couldn't see nothing. And the closest tree I had to me was a small cedar to my left. And I knew then what I'm dealing with is supernatural. I knew for a fact from that moment on. That's what I'm wondering, Melissa, honestly, because in all actuality, even if it was a Wendigo or a ghoul, it had plenty of opportunity to get me, and it didn't. Even when I was trapped in my truck, and that was the whole fear I had in my truck.
Let me say something too about Melissa's comment here about would the elementals help and protect Eric and his family from harm? If you recall from the beginning here of the podcast today, I said as long as you show them unconditional respect and unconditional love and honor them, on a periodic basis, on a frequent basis, every now and then, like offer tobacco to the base of a tree and say Tunkashila, thank you, Makawakan, thank you, which means Mother Earth, and that encompasses all the elementals. Um, you know, you can leave fruit, anything that's biodegradable that doesn't harm Mother Earth, you can leave as a gift, and that's why it's usually tobacco, maybe a feather, maybe an apple, or something along that lines. And as long as you show them the undue respect, yes, they will help protect you and keep you and your family safe, no matter what you're going through, because they live and thrive off of that mutual respect that you give them. Okay. Everybody says elementals can be evil, and yes, they can. When you disrespect Mother Earth, elementals can be extremely evil. Okay. They can
Mhm.
give you illnesses and nightmares that you could never wake up from. Okay. They have that capability, but they don't. They're not meant to harm mankind. They're meant to work in cooperation with mankind to respect our Earth Mother. Okay. That's all it is. That's the connection. Okay. A lot of people try to make it too spiritual than what it is. And it's not that. It's just Native Americans and elementals and Mother Earth and Tunkashila, you know, grandfather, you know, all getting along and interacting with each other with mutual respect and admiration. That's all it is. Okay, go ahead, Eric.
No worries. Yeah, that's what I kind of thought too. I just didn't want to overstep my bounds. Um, so, anyways, I started hearing that mimicking back to the north again in the valley in the tree line that was in front of me. And this was after the scrapings on around my truck. And the best way I describe it was like my body was washed with, oh shit, this is my last moment. I have no way to protect myself against this. I don't have the white ash forged knife with silver. I don't have anything like that to protect me. All I have is my pistol and my pocket knife. I was like, I mean, this is what it is, man. This is my time. Um, then about that time, I seen the headlights behind me, and I was like, God, let that be that roadside guy. I need to get the hell out of here. Let that be that roadside. I need to get back to my house. I need to get out of here. I should not be here. And uh, sorry. Um,
Take
luckily,
your time.
luckily, it was the roadside guy, and um, so we got the pouring gas in there, and all of a sudden we heard a faint knock, which I automatically shot up and responded, and it was in the direction of where that mimic was, and I automatically put my hand on my pistol, and the roadside guy goes, "I think I heard that," and then all of a sudden you hear it again, and it was really loud and really close. And he freaked out and goes, "Oh fuck, I did hear that." I'm grabbing my pistol. I said, "Well, I've had mine on me this whole time." I said, "I was just keeping hidden out of respect for you." He goes, "Man, you got an effing Bigfoot here." I said, "Dude, I know I have Bigfoot here. This is not that. This is something else." He goes, "Man, we're all good. I'm out. I'm not staying. I'm gone." And then roadside guy got freaked out and he just hauled ass out of here. Which I got back in the truck and I kept my pistol on me and I went right in the house. I knew for some reason I would be safe as long as I got here. Um, I don't know how to explain it. That's just the feeling I've had. So since that's happened, we've had two other instances. My daughter and her friend were out playing in the field and looking at stars, and my daughter's friend heard my daughter call for her, and my daughter was out looking for a dog she thought was outside. It wasn't outside. My daughter never called for her, and the dog that she was looking for was inside the house. They come running back to the house, and this happened while I was on one of my lives. I don't remember if it was my the Bizarre and the Unknown live or my campfire. I don't remember. And I told them, keep your asses inside. Turn the porch light on, leave it on, keep your butts inside. So the other day, it was the second incident. Um, they were taking trash out to the trash can, and my trash can's out at the end of the drive, like I said. So it's a good little walk, and they stopped because my shop door was open and my light was on in the shop. And I haven't been out there because today is the first day that I'm able to walk around with very little pain. I've been dealing with a swollen knee. I mean, my knee has been swollen about that big and hurting this whole time I've been on vacation. And my daughter's friend says she's seen an old man sitting in that doorway with his fist on his hips. And they come running back to the house. I said, and so, last night I was telling them, I was like, hey, we need to stop going outside at night. There is something here that's not friendly. We need to stay inside at nighttime. We need to stop going out. We need to quit taking these chances. Uh, I try to, Stuart. I need to get some salt. It's been a long time since I put a salt barrier around my property. I need to do that again. I've had to have since we've moved. We've lived on this property for 31 years. I bought it off my dad shortly after mom passed away a couple years ago. I have a very strong connection with this property. I've said this on Williams shows before, and I've said it on mine. This place here helps to center my soul,
Hooray.
and so I have a very deep connection with my property. I have a deep connection with my guests that come here every year. I have a connection with the wildlife that lives here. I do not hunt more than what I need, and I do not gather more than what I need. I live in a, how do you describe it? I live in we live together here as one, if that makes sense. Um, I'm very connected to my property. Connection with the land to me is very important. Um, like William said, this is a living thing. Mother Earth is living. The trees are living. The rocks are living. Everything is living. Everything has a soul, has feelings, has a voice. If you
You
stop and
know,
calm your mind, you can hear that voice. Go
yeah,
ahead, William. I'm
when
sorry,
I
bud.
was first when I was first learning the Native American way as a child, um, my one uncle took me out in the woods one time, and he was talking to me, and this is I've said this a couple times to people, in blogs and stuff, and in chat rooms, that when somebody says like they see a dead tree laying in the ground in the forest or in the mountain,
Hmm.
you got to understand that Mother Earth never dies, okay, and her entities that are upon her never die, okay. They just simply transfer their energy. Okay. And what is on that tree? You have moss growing on that tree. You have ants crawling upon that tree. You have bees making honey within that tree. You know, you have snakes
Fungus.
living underneath that tree. Birds taking and frequently that tree. It's nothing ever dies. Okay. Nothing ever dies. It's merely a shift of energy. Okay. That's all it is. You take us, for example, when we leave this skin suit, it's just our energy. Our energy lives forever. Okay, so you got to keep that in mind when you're dealing with elementals and fae, pixies, orgs, whatever you want to call them. You're dealing with. Okay, but as Native people, we group it all together. So it's all basically elementals. So
I'm okay, so I appreciate it. Can I let you down? I'm trying to do this. I'm okay though. I am. I love you, buddy.
hey, little
I'm
buddy.
okay. Yeah, he can tell I was getting what's a good way of putting it. He can feel my unrest. Um, so yeah, that's what I've been having going on here. So when last night when the elemental was brought up, um, that like I said, it kind of hit home that I think a lot of what I'm dealing with is probably yes, there. Like out here, I don't cut down a tree with life unless I absolutely have to. I take what's dead first, and I still think whatever I hunt, whatever I gather, whatever I harvest, I always thank itself for sacrificing itself to help me and my family. I'm a very even before I take that shot when I have that deer in my crosshair. I don't know. I'm not fluent in my Native American life. The only song that I can remember is a Lakota lullaby, and that's the best I could do. So I say a prayer, yes, thank you for my brother or my sister, whatever it is, for sacrificing yourself that I may feed my family. May your spirit live on and teach the younger generation your knowledge. So that is the prayer that I always say to any animal that I hunt. And then I sing Shante waste hoste da giashti ma ha ha he pe he waste oh yeah, and I sing that. And it's the Lakota lullaby. I used to sing that to my girls to help them go to sleep. But that's the closest song. That's the only song I know. So I try to pay respects in every manner I can, and that's when I shoot. And I never have an issue hunting or gathering or harvesting what I need to survive because I respect everything. I dip tobacco and I always give a pinch of tobacco to trees and stuff like that whenever I have to fell them. So that's just how I live. That's how I teach my kids. And you're right, Stuart. It's the old native ways. I try to do that as much as possible. I stick very close to my old native ways and my old Nordic ways. To me, they're all the same, just different parts of the world. Uh, Hello, Ray. Sorry, I didn't see you, buddy. Uh, so that's how it is here for me, and I can't explain it. But when I'm here, this is where I feel safe. Now I can feel stuff out here that ain't right or that is right, but in here is where I feel safe. So the fact that the elementals are talking to me and they're trying to get me to understand things and to see things, to experience things like I experienced last night, that's an honor. That is a very, very huge honor for me because that is something that doesn't happen very often. So I know I'm doing something right because I'm trying to get my mind, my body, everything on the correct wavelength, the correct frequency and vibration to my Mother Earth. And I want to be
Right,
connected to her in
right.
that manner. So yeah, I mean it was
Now
cool.
here's what I was as I was growing up. My father and a lot of my uncles and stuff. Whenever I'd go hunting as a child with them, they always told me that and taught me out of the mutual respect of everything, and how everything is connected in the circle of life, like Melissa said earlier in the podcast. Um, that if you do take down game to feed your family, you automatically drop down to your knees and put your hands on Mother Earth, and you say a prayer silently to her, asking for her to gently take that spirit of that animal that sacrificed itself to her bosom and bring him back, in another way, and then we
Mm-hmm.
go over to the deer, or the elk or whatever, even if it's buffalo, and I've hunted it all. Um, you go and you take your tobacco bag and you lay a pinch of tobacco in your finger and your thumb in your hand like this, okay, and you lift it up to Tukashila, and you say your thank you to Tukashila for letting this happen, and then you go down to Makawakan, sacred Mother Earth, and say thank you for this, this gift of life for my family, and may the spirit of this animal go gently, and then you lay the tobacco on the animal, okay, and
Hmm.
on the ground, all right, but in that order. So,
Yeah.
and then we process with the whole routine of gutting the animal, and cleaning it out and all that. We take the innards of her, and we'll lay it in a certain area in a pile to where we feel like
Yep.
the animals can partake of it, and
Yep.
in a good way, So,
Yep.
but yeah, that's how we do it. That's how I was always taught to do it. And you know, I'm I'm an old Indian man now, okay, and there's a lot of things that I still need to teach people, and a lot of the sacred songs and the sacred ceremonies need to be taught, and with my duration here that's probably left in this world, I don't know if I have the time to do it. So as much as I talk about the native way, I have to, you know, I have an obligation to you all to talk about it to you, and to let you know the
Yeah.
connection between the Native Americans and the cryptid creatures of this world, and the connection between the native people and the spirits of this world. There's so much that you everybody needs to learn about that whole connection. And yes, Melissa, you are right. It is called the Circle of Life.
Yeah.
It's one thing that Disney got right in one of their movies, if you recall, the Lion King. The Circle of Life. That's exactly what they call it. And we are all connected by the web of life. What we do to the web, we do to ourselves. Plain and
Yep.
simple. So,
Yep.
anyways, go ahead, Eric. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, you're good. And see, and I take what knowledge I can get. So a little history of my family. Yes, my primary bloodline is Norwegian. We hail from Ragnar Lothbrok through Ivar the Boneless. I'm also Cherokee, Comanche, Lakota, German, Irish, English, Scottish. Now, my knowledge, I've not had a teacher growing up. My family forsake a lot of stuff and went Mormon. So most of my family is old Mormon and modern Mormon. My mom and dad was expelled from the order for several reasons. So me learning my Nordic side, or me learning my Native American side, or my Wallace clan family in Scotland, or wherever else, is stuff that I learn on my own because I've never had a teacher. So everything I do, I've done through practice, from learning, and from trial and error. So whenever I hear knowledge that helps, I try to retain that knowledge. I try to learn it because I've not had that grandfather there or that uncle. My sperm donor is sitting in an all male medium security prison in Quincy, Illinois with parole date of 2054. He's never been a part of my life. He's left when I was 2 months old. I've had my half brother's dad and my stepdad in my life. That was it. The only one that's here now is my stepdad. So I've never had that teacher. So that's why I try to learn things, and what I learn, I pass off to my children, uh, because to me that's important. Um, I try to teach history, family history to my kids because I think your family history is a very important and a very big part of your life. I try to teach my kids to respect the land that you live on, respect the land that you walk on, respect
Hello.
everything. I mean, that's me. That's how I am. Now, do I do it correctly? Probably not. I try to do it as correctly as possible. And I think, David, you're awesome, buddy. Thank you so much for that.
Oh, thank you, David.
Um,
Awesome. Thank you, David.
yeah, that's
Awesome.
kick ass, buddy. So, and that's how I try to teach things. So, the fact that I have elementals that you seen last night here, and how they reacted to me, and I had the experience when it said portal, and when the other three showed up, dude, that's I don't even know how to describe that honor. I mean, it's just that means my hard work that I've been doing is paying off, and they see it and they acknowledge it. That I may not be correct, but I'm trying and I'm close to being correct, if that makes sense.
Right. I know David
Uh,
and Melissa have something that they have interacted with at their place. I
oh,
saw
dude,
that
yeah,
video clip that they got of Melissa having her hair lifted up after
sure.
after an orb was seen, and that's very interesting. Um,
Stuart,
but the
you're
feeling I
awesome.
get
Thank you.
is that it's just the feeling I get is it's just a spirit, a human spirit that's in the house. Thank you,
Yeah,
Stuart. You're awesome, brother. You rock.
he, man, David and Stuart's on the ball today, guys. Um,
I appreciate
yeah,
that,
and you're
guys.
you're right. I mean, I watched the video, which I talked about it a little bit last night because I watched it before I uh, came on my
Stuart.
live. um,
I'm
I
sorry, I had to
honestly,
laugh.
Stuart, I still don't even know how to do it. I'm not gonna lie, I don't even know how to do it. Um,
Uh,
but I was watching that and I was like, "Holy cow, man!" And so that's why I talked a little bit on the campfire chats last night because I was like, "That the fact that they caught that, that's a hell of a good catch. That really is
yeah,
one of a rarity on catches." So,
yeah. I
I
just
mean,
I
that
get a
was that
feeling
was
it's a family member.
I kind of had a feeling it was like a possibly a grandmother or a mother, but it was something like
Yeah,
that is what I was catching. I don't know how accurate it is. I didn't really dive too deep into it. It's just the feeling I got when I watched it. If that made sense, like she was wanting to play with her hair like she used to do, or something like that. I could be wrong, um, but I mean that was the feeling I got. Give me 1 second. My
well,
daughter
it's
left
definitely
Bucky
a
in here.
female energy.
Yeah.
It's definitely a female energy that I feel that's there with Melissa and David. So and I know Luna can sense it too. Luna's ears will perk up a little bit, and she'll be kind of attentive towards a certain part of the kitchen. And
Yeah.
from that, you can tell it's that the spirit's there with you. So, but watch Luna's reactions very closely, Dave and Melissa. That way, that's what I think where you're going to find out what you're dealing with completely. Because if Luna can accept whatever it is, then it'll be okay. So
You know that's peaceful if she does. I mean, that is a very good indicator. That's why I watch my animals and how they react. How they react kind of tells me, gives me a first notion. Either A, this thing is not friendly, or B, it's new. And you can always tell by how they act on what you're dealing with. If that makes sense to everybody. I'm getting ready to order some GoPros. Um, I've got two small ones I'm going to order, especially when I'm out here doing investigations in the woods.
thanks,
I want to
Trace.
keep one clipped to my back to see what's watching me from behind, and I want to clip one on the side to see what's watching me from my sides. I'll probably order some more later on, but I'm getting ready to order some of those. And I've got one that I'm going to be end up wearing on my chest or my head, so that way if I miss something with my eyes, I can come back and watch it later. So I'm going to use that in all investigations, paranormal, cryptid, whatever. I'm going to start using them. I'm slowly trying to get things gathered up I need. Like I need a shadow box. I need a better digital recorder than what I got to pick up things, but we do what we can until we get it. Yeah, Melissa, I would. I mean, you catch something like that, yeah. David. Yeah, I can see that. Um, but yeah, I mean, and I agree with you. I mean, that was the feeling I got with something like a mother or grandmother. There was definitely a female presence. It was like the only way I could describe it was like it was something that she used to like to do when Melissa was younger, if that makes sense. But I mean, I could be wrong. Like I said, I didn't get in depth on
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But
Now,
no, I mean,
I'm kind
so
of curious. I'm kind of curious of how often you actually take tobacco out and offer it to the ground out there by your place, your property.
usually anytime I harvest something or gather something or take a life.
Well, now that these elementals are actually alerted to your presence and are actually communicating with you, because elementals don't like to communicate. Okay, they tend to
Yeah.
stay hidden, you know. Um, but since it is trying to communicate with you in some way, shape, or form, I would recommend giving tobacco offerings at a consistency, even without recovering something from the property. Maybe just go out sometime and just to say thank you and just you know lift it up and to grandfather and the four directions and then to Mother Earth and say a prayer and say thank you at the end of the prayer and just put it down on the ground and see if that envelops more of a mutual respect and see what happens because they might actually communicate with you more and in a good way.
Yeah, that's you're right. I need to get back to putting the offerings out like I used to do too. I just have it because the food quality I've had lately, most of it's not been what I consider honorable offerings, if that makes sense.
Yep, yep.
I'm
Curious to find
responding
out
to
if
some.
Dave and Melissa do that at their place. So
Uh,
here's Stuart's got something
sorry,
for
I'm
you, Eric.
responding. Huh? Yeah, I was responding to that. One of the GoPros I'm getting is where I can mount to my head or chest. I'm trying to figure out how the best way. Haven't got them in yet. Um, but Ron Bowles was telling me a trick that I'd never thought about in any of my investigations. Have something that's facing behind you or off to the side too, because a lot of times,
Mm-hmm.
like with cryptids, they're very curious. They're not going to show yourself to you, but they either be off behind you or off to the side of you. So these small GoPros that I'm getting that clip
Mm-hmm.
on are going to be that way. And then I'm going to have one on my head that's facing forward. If I can mount it to my head, great. If I can't, then yeah. I'm actually ordering two of those. Yeah, and I'll get some more later on, but I'm actually ordering two of those. That's actually what I just ordered. Yeah, two of those. Um, so that way I can have. For now, it'll be three different angles, but eventually, when I get some more, I'll have different angles because I always know that they're there. I don't. I have never seen my guest. I've had them interact with me vocally, structures, prints. I've had them come to my window and go when I'm writing. I could tell they've been looking through the windows at me when I'm watching TV. That has been my interactions. Man, I hope I didn't go too far. Should have probably held back on talking on that. Now that I think about it, I think I'll be okay. Uh, but yeah, that's kind of where I'm going with that, Stuart. That's why I'm trying to get three different angles, and eventually I'll have all four angles covered. Now there is one time I've took my camcorder when I went out to check on a location, and I left my camcorder there recording as I left for a couple hours to see if I can catch something. I didn't have a strong presence that day, and I didn't catch nothing. So, but that is some of the tricks that I try to do. I've left when I've heard howls out here, and I'm not talking about dog, coyote, or wolf. I'm talking about howls. Um, I've left, which I've got everything over there. I can't remember what it's called. I call it my sound enhancing megalophone. That I've got my
Your
camcorder.
bionic ear.
Yeah, yeah. And I've got a Velcro strip on it and a Velcro strip on my digital recorder, and I've got a rubber band that goes around the trigger. So that way I don't have to hold them all at one time and the trigger plays and I ain't got to hold it because I've got hand issues too. So holding things is hard. I've got ulnar nerve damage in both my arms. One's in my wrist and the other one's in my elbow. So holding on to something hurts. So I've got that on there so I can, like one night I laid it out and unfortunately I thought I had it facing right, but I didn't have it facing right. So it didn't really catch the howls that I could hear to the west of me off in the distance. So I wasn't able to pick it up because it was being blocked. I didn't have it in the right location. But I'll do that sometimes. Like I've had it out here sitting on my front porch and you can hear something walking in the rain one night when it was raining. I've got those. So, I mean, I do stuff like that and try to catch things. So I know they don't physically interact with me like I can see them, but they interact with me all the time. So I want to leave certain stuff out and go in about my normal daily task and what I do in hopes that I'll catch something in return. Right. So I try to do different techniques on catching things. So cryptid investigations is way more complicated than paranormal. For me, I don't know why. Paranormal is easy. Cryptid, not so much.
Yeah.
I don't know
true.
What it is.
Very true.
That's good because I thought it was just me. But I mean, that's tricks I do. So I'm constantly trying to come up with new ideas. Like I was talking to Corey Cole the other day. I've had some really good footprints that I could not cast because they were on an incline. So now that my knee's doing better, I've got to get out and I'm going to make me a thin box. Face my camera right. And it's going to have a top on it with a slit that I can pour my plaster in. I want to be able to set that box there. I don't know if this is going to work or not. This is just a theory that I want to try out. So I'm going to have the box lined with wax paper. I want to be able to set that over the print, pour my caster in there, let it set up, and then be able to take that box apart. And if the caster plaster sticks to anything, it should stick to the wax paper and not the box, which is no big deal because that part of it is not what you're looking at. You're looking at what you're picking up off the ground. So even if you can
always do what David does. You can always do what David does when it comes to print casting. You can take off your belt and make a circle around it with your belt.
Yeah, see, a lot of times, like my land, I'm pretty sure I could talk about this because I'm not really talking about what's in the documentary. I'm kind of, but I'm kind of not. I have very hard and rocky land here. You'd be lucky to dig more than 6 inches, if that makes sense. And that's in a good spot. So when I've got a very, very, very nice imprint on an incline, that plaster is going to run down over that. That's why I want to build something that encloses around it to keep the plaster in. That's my mindset.
Right. Well, that's what the belt. That's what I said about David. Yeah, David using that belt, it does work. It does. All you need is something to hold it in there. Yeah, and you can always take like a Walmart plastic bag with you and put it over top of it in case it's raining. Yeah. So I mean, whatever works. Whatever's easiest to carry, so it leaves your hands free, basically.
And the belt is a phenomenal idea. So I'm always trying to come up with new techniques, new ways to gather things that will help. You know, like I've said on this show, like I've said on my shows, we need to quit working against each other in all these fields that we're in, and work together as one. Otherwise, we're never going to get the truth.
Yeah.
So I love sharing ideas. I like
Yeah.
hearing ideas. I
Exactly.
like trying new things because this is how we should be.
Yeah.
I don't consider myself a
Yeah.
cryptozoologist. An aspiring one, yes. I just what I know is what I deal with. Uh, but in that field, in the paranormal field, in the supernatural field, mythological, folklore, bizarre, we need to come together and quit fighting each other. Otherwise, we'll never get the truth out. We just really can't. So I love taking
Right.
ideas. I love handing
Exactly.
ideas out. I like trying new stuff. So, man, when you got an idea, I'm going to try that idea. You're damn right. If it works, great. If it doesn't, hey, I tried it.
Yeah. I'm
That's kind of
I'm
my
in the
mind.
process of going through. Yeah, I'm in the process of going through some video that I put on the cameras out the other night, and I'm going to just see what's exactly around this property, one way or another. So, but we have a
Yeah.
lot of activity here too. A lot of supernatural activity. But there's also a lot of cryptid activity and sky activity. I would love to be able to dedicate a camera full time to a live feed pointed at the sky over the mountains to show what we see all the time in the sky. It's
Yes.
amazing the amount of stuff that's above our heads that we don't even look up and see. Um, you know, so yeah, I just I wanted to try and dedicate some cameras to that, but we'll see. I mean, I'm going to try, but I'm just now messing with the cameras to make sure they'd be able to be worked that way. So
Yeah,
dedicate a
I'd
full
love
time
to
feed to
too.
it. I don't know if my internet would help at all with that. So
That was my point. I would love to be able to do that too. I have freaked a lot of people out that were non-believers. Until hey Monica, how you
Monica, good to
doing?
see you.
I've had a lot of non-believers that once they came to my property and experienced the stuff I tell them, they left believing, if that makes sense. And that's with UFOs. That's paranormal. Every great once in a while cryptid. Normally it's UFO and paranormal. Um, like if I can, that's one of these things.
Right.
Whenever it gets warmer out and it's not going to zap the batteries in my camcorder, I'm going to have a camcorder facing the sky because this is the only way I'm going to be able to do it. Because I live out in the middle of nowhere. My internet sucks so
Right.
bad because I'm not connected to the grid like everybody
Oh
else
yeah,
is.
so does mine. Yeah, so
So
does
I can't
mine.
do it. So the only way I can do it is have that camcorder set out there and watch it. And you'll see these orbs dance across the sky and make different movements and all that stuff. And I have freaked so many people out by doing that. I was like, hey, let's come out to a bonfire. I want to have a bonfire tonight. So we'll be sitting there, doing our
Hmm.
thing. I'm like, you guys want to see a UFO? They're like, what do you mean? And I'll say, look up. And you'll watch them dance across the sky. And they freak the hell out. I see that here. I don't have light pollution here like people who live in towns and cities. I live out in nowhere. My light pollution is extremely limited. Usually, if I'm outside at night, I've got my porch lights off because I don't want them on. I want to see what's going on. So that's how the only way that I can do it is to point the camcorder up to the sky and just let it record what it can. It's the only way I can do it.
Right. Right. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
So I mean,
I'm
it's
just trying
baby
to
steps
figure out how
ahead.
to do that though. But, yeah, we've got cattle around us too, and that's another thing I want to keep an eye on because with a lot of the mutilations and stuff that's happening on cattle and even wildlife and even humans. I mean, I've done podcast shows where I've showed some pretty photographs of human mutilation from of of reports of unknown UFO activity. So, and that little bit of activity, and the way it interacts with, the wildlife and the animals that the farmers have and stuff around here is pretty unique. So
Mm.
I want to kind of dedicate a camera to both of that. I want to have the pasture covered, and I want to have the sky above the pasture covered. So, because it'll also encompass
Yeah.
the mountain range too. So,
Yeah, I was talking about an incident happened here around mid to late '90s, uh, which we argued with conservation. They told us it was bull mastiffs. We had like 50 or 60 different types of livestock mutilated out here. Um, Melissa had brought up about
oh,
normal
really?
when you think of livestock mutilation, it's the fine cuts. These weren't. You can tell these were animalistic mutilations. Okay. Um, we at that time, because I didn't know about Dogman.
More like an attack.
Dogman, yeah, Dogman is not only has Bigfoot, but Dogman is reported of using the Niagara River, and all these instances happen along the Niagara River. The Niagara River is right here to my east, less than an eighth of a mile. Maybe an eighth of a mile at best. But these incidents happened off of W Highway in Webster County along the Niagara River. Now, we chalked it up to cougars back then. We actually had game cam video of cougars in that area. So that's what we
Mhm.
thought it was at first. But the more I've learned about Dogman and the more I look back and go, most of these attacks were not on the back of the neck. Most of these attacks were the throats were ripped out and the guts were ripped out, and it wasn't clean. It was jagged. You could tell it was like teeth ripping out the throat and like claws that ripped out the stomach, and the insides were gone. Not every
Well,
single one
where
of them.
you're located at, don't you have the don't you have the Ozark Howler where you're located at?
It is just they're reported north of me a little ways, but I cannot dispute that being here. I cannot dispute that they're not here. I do not believe. Okay, so this is my opinion. I don't know if it's anybody else's. This is just my opinion. The Ozark Howler is not specific to one area. Now, not far from me, about roughly 20 miles to my west, a buddy of mine, he saw something, and how he described it looked like an Ozark Howler. Me and DA's got to make our way out to that location and do an investigation. Now, I know Ozark Howlers have been spotted in that area. Have I had an encounter here? No. I cannot leave that possibility out. I really cannot leave that possibility out. But the closest one I know of is roughly 20 miles to my west, and that was along Highway 213, I think is what it is. 213, 231. I have to look it up. I can't remember exactly, but I mean, I know how to get there. A lot of these roads, I don't remember the names. I just drive them and know them, if that makes sense. I'm an old hillbilly. Our directions was literally turn
Yeah,
by the
yeah.
church, turn at the Y, look for that big tree out in the middle of the cow field, turn there, go all the way down till you see the soap bucket on the fence, and there you are. That literally was our directions. We didn't use street names or none of it. This is actually how we gave directions growing up. My job,
I was always told that whenever you're driving down the road in hillbilly country, and this is just a joke, because my own mother was from hillbilly country, so being Shawnee and Cherokee. Um, anyways, she, the thing was back in the day that if you ever saw a string of certain beer cans like Budweiser or Busch beer, you know, like find one can, and then 100 feet further you find another can, and 100 feet further you find another can. Well, that's how a hillbilly finds his way around.
yeah, I mean, I can't dispute that, buddy. I can't dispute that. That is not an uncommon thing that happens around here. With my job now,
Uh,
I have more more observative of street names. because that's my job.
Uh-huh.
But growing up, I mean, literally,
Right.
that is how we gave directions. That's how far in the woods I live. When your directions are, hey, you'll see this here. When we literally
Yeah.
have a soap bucket on
When you
our
get down
corner
to
of
the
our
red
bed.
barn, you don't go there.
Yeah, that is. And people think it's funny, but I mean,
Yeah.
when we first moved out here 31 years ago, we didn't have running water and we didn't have a home. We lived, six of us and
Right.
four animals lived in a little travel trailer. Um, we literally had a 500-gallon cattle water in the back of an international pickup that once a week we went down to the local creek or river and bucketed 5-gallon buckets of water to fill this cattle water up. Then we'd back it up to our travel trailer, hook it up to the garden hose,
Mm-hmm.
boil the water to have drinking water. In the summer, we had a solar heated bag that we laid out on the truck hood to warm up when we took showers in a throwed up together shower outside. In the winter,
Mm-hmm.
we
Yeah.
showered in the bath basin in the kitchen. We had an outhouse that we used for the first 2 years we lived here because we had no bathroom or running water to use.
Oh, yeah.
So when I can tell you that a poop sickle is real, trust me, poop sickles are real. Poop will freeze your butt hair if you don't get it off in time
Yep.
in the winter.
Exactly.
It is one of the most coldest poops you'll ever take in your life is using an outhouse in the winter. And when you're having to walk through snow and dig yourself out of your travel trailer to get to go poop, you have a new appreciation of going poop in the bathroom. Trust me. But that's how we lived. And you know what? I would not trade a minute of it.
Yeah.
Every bit of
True.
electric
Very
line,
true. Very true.
every
I've
bit of
used the outhouse
electrical
too.
line.
Trust me.
Yeah, yeah. Every inch of electric line and water line we dug by hand with a pickaxe and shovel. We would take, and I've got
Oh
about
yeah.
2 acres of land here that we would mow by hand with a push mower, and when that was broke down with a sickle. We'd literally start from one end. By the time we got to the other end, we had to start
Oh
back
man,
over again.
that's brutal.
That is how we, yeah. Yeah, I mean, we literally turned. This was an old hunting land.
That is
That
brutal.
travel trailer was the hunting cabin they had. That was what we lived in, and we turned it into what I got now.
Right.
No worries, Scott. Welcome in. Uh, I have a very very deep connection with this land because I helped transform this land into something beautiful.
Hey Scott.
So uh, I guess that's why I'm real partial and I fought so hard for buying this land was because of that.
Ooh, 6 inches of snow.
Yeah,
Ooh.
that's a good one. But and maybe that's why I'm being blessed with the experiences with the elementals here because I have literally my blood, sweat, and tears cover this land. I do not take anything more than what I need, no matter what it is. I just do not do that, and I will not allow that. Am I getting ready to have some loggers to come out to help take out some older trees to give younger trees chance to regrow? You're absolutely right. I am. Am I going to pay respect to what we harvest? You're absolutely right. I am. Now, for me, like when I cut trees, I have one brush pile that I leave for the wildlife to give a home for the wildlife out there. And I have another brush pile that I burn. So I kind of alternate them. If I have enough brush piles in the area, then I'll burn them. As soon as I start needing new brush piles for new homes for the wildlife, I make new homes for them. Um, I mean,
Yeah.
I'm very, very big on doing that. It's very important to me.
Yeah. I used to make rabbit blinds, take brush, from landscaping and go along the railroad tracks and I'd make these little like like a little adobe with the brush pile, like for rabbits and stuff, so we could when it came to rabbit season, there would be more of them, and we would know where they would be. And I did it one time along a railroad track, and nobody owned the property. The C&O Railroad basically owned the track itself and like 8 feet off to each side. But other than that, the property wasn't owned by anybody. But anyways, I was setting up 2 rabbit blinds one day out of my pickup truck, and here comes EPA, Environmental Protection Agency. Going. What are you doing? And I said, oh, I'm making rabbit blinds. Us Native Americans, we hunt rabbits here. And he goes, well, you can't do that. He goes, it's against the law. I said, are you kidding? I said, it's called giving back to the earth. I said, it's actually cycling, part of the soul cycle of what our planet and our animals and our brothers and sisters on this planet have to go through. Okay. So it's basically helping out the rabbit life, to have more rabbits, but they wouldn't let me do it. So I had to load all the brush back in the back of the pickup truck and go find another place to do it.
Yeah, I try to do that as much as possible, and I do it because that's the right thing to do. That's been my teachings that I learned my way on things to do, and I mean I've not hunted squirrel on my property for a long time. I've been wanting to get my squirrel population back up. Now I can start to where I can start hunting squirrel. I've got some big old fatters that run around here. Okay, so on a side note, this is funny as crap, and this happens to me damn near every deer season. So this is kind of the fun that I have when I'm hunting. When I'm hunting, I'm serious about hunting. Yes, I like to have fun when I'm hunting too. So I'll be up in my tree stand and I'll be sitting still. Now I bow hunt and I rifle hunt. It never fails every single year. I'll be sitting there sitting still and I'll have a squirrel climb up my tree stand and all of a sudden stop and look. It's like, what the hell is that right there? And I'll just stare and stare and stare. And I go, and the thing will jump. They literally have a, oh shit, moment, jump and fall from their tree, take off running, and start barking at me. But I'll get them. I've had squirrels literally this close to me right here. And I just sit there and stare at them and watch them shit themselves. It's funny as hell, man. But I mean, it's stuff I have fun. I mean, I sit still out there, like when I'm connecting with Mother Earth. I literally have all different kinds of wildlife that run right around me, right in there. It's fun. It really is. And I'll sit there and I'll play with the squirrels and I'll start going. And I'll hear them barking and, or I'll get out there if I'm turkey hunting. I'm like, if it's morning time, usually I'm, and I'll hear them. I was like, all right, I know where you're at. Yeah, at nighttime, if I want to know where they're roosting, I'm, then I'll hear them. So I know where you're roasting at. And that's where I can go and I know where to set up. I talk with Bob Whites out here. It's always, then I can hear them going off where I know where the Bob Whites are. So, I mean, I communicate. Now, do I use them techniques to help fill my freezer? Yes. I also do that techniques because I like talking with them. The other day on my live, I don't know if you guys can hear it. Actually, I think it was last night. I had a very loud hoot owl, and the guys can't see it, but roughly 60, 70 yards from where I'm at right now is where two of my drives connect together. On the other side is my shop. And I heard a loud hoot out here, which I hooted back, which I didn't think about this at first. This was my stupidity on this. And then I heard it right over here at the same frequency. Then I heard it back behind me. My reaction was the same as I did last night, and I started hooting back because that's what we do out here. I talk with the hoot owls. I talk with everything. So now that I'm thinking, I probably should not have done that. I probably should have thought that one through a little bit better. That was a little loud for a hoot owl. I don't know if it
Hello,
can be heard
Anna.
on here or
Good to
not.
see you.
Hey, Edna. Let me get caught up here.
Yeah, Melissa, I'll go with you and David up there to collect those if you want me to. I've got a ton of
Yeah.
red cloth and I got the holy oil, so
Yeah, definitely do a blessing on your land. I understand the cleansing. Cleansing is vital. Even Native Americans used to burn off land to give new growth a chance. So that's always something important. But be careful that you do it right. Definitely need to do it right. I'm trying to see. Oh man, I need to find that one picture. I may have to go out and take a picture again. Um, but no, I mean it's
Melissa and
great.
Tracy, I'm here, right? I can read these. Melissa and Tracy, I can read these, so I love the chat when the chat goes and they're talking to each other about a certain
Heck
yeah,
yeah.
I will go. David and Melissa, I will go with you to collect those things. Okay, I definitely will. I'll go. All right, I've got my medicine bag here. Trust me, it's about 4 feet long and full of Native American stuff. So trust me, I got the stuff we need. And good morning, Aunt Edna. Good to see you. It's really good to see everybody in the chat. Scott, good to see you. I did say hello. I just don't know if you heard me.
Oh, I did catch something different on my game cam last night. I have 4 game cams on my property. 2 go to my phone. 2 I've not been out in like a little over a month to get because I just either A, been hurt or B, too busy. Um, but this is something that I normally do not see on my property. I don't know if it's the weather did it, but the shape of this thing is just really, really, really odd.
Right.
Holy crap, it's actually moved. Let me see if I can get this. I want you guys to look at it. And it very well could be nothing. But the fact that I look at my game cams all the time, this is new. Now, I cannot dispute the fact that this could be nature who done this. It is a very big possibility. I am always a skeptic. No matter what I'm doing, I am always a skeptic because if you
Uh,
do not question what you find, and no matter what you find that you claim is this, leaves no credibility to who you are. You have to have a margin of error because not everything is cryptid, not everything is paranormal. Sometimes nature is just nature. That's something when we're doing our investigations we need to think about. Some things are just shadow play, some things are just nature moving it around. So always keep that in mind when you're doing investigation, folks. That's one of the biggest advices I can give to you is always keep in mind not everything is always what you seem. Always allow a margin of
we're breaking up
possibility.
real bad. We're at the hour. We're at the hour and a half mark already, Eric. Just so you know.
Okay. Thank you. I wasn't paying attention. I'll be honest with you. And I'm having fun. Uh, where'd you go? Where'd you go? Where'd you go? Where'd you go? I just moved you over here. Where'd you
I'm. I think my internet is going out on me. It's starting to get real spotty. I don't know
go? Yeah, I
if
can hear.
anybody in the chat can tell me if it's freezing up a lot. That would be greatly appreciated.
Is that it? Damn it. Where the heck are you guys coming from? No, that's not it. Oh, no. That is a weird picture, though. You guys want to see something weird I caught?
Yeah, even the
I've never
chat's
even thought.
froze up on me now.
Can you hear me me now? I was looking at a picture. You guys want to see something very weird that I caught on my camera one time, and I forgot that I
Yeah,
caught
I'm
this,
just having really bad technical issues right now. I'm having a lot of video problem and audio problem.
Oh dang. Okay. If we gotta shut her down. We gotta shut her down. Is it? This is something I can't share this because this is not cryptid. Can anybody see what I'm talking about in this picture? This is something I caught from my game cam. I'll give you a hint. Look next to my eyeballs. Okay, that's good, Edna.
Thank you, Ed.
You guys see that little face right there next to my eyeballs? That appeared on my game cam one night, just out of the blue. I mean, and this is a perfect example. Is this actually something I caught, or is this pareidolia? I've actually caught that on my game cam. But the thing that I noticed last night, and this is why I want to kind of use this as an example. If you look to the left of the screen, not my dog, go see the direction my dog is facing, you'll see a cylinder shape in the leaves. To me, it's to the left of the screen. I don't know about you guys, but right above where Wood Train's message is put up to look at, right there is what I'm talking about. You can kind of see a cylinder shape in my trees. That is something new on my property. And that's what I caught, or that's what I noticed last night. I just kind of figured you guys might find it interesting and see what you guys thought on that. I've never had that on my property before.
Yeah, send me a copy. Send me that picture. Yeah, send me that picture, Eric, so I can process it on and look at it on the computer. All right, and I'll see if I can find that elemental too we're talking about in the picture.
Do you want the one of the reptilian-looking thing, or the one of the, or both? The one with the cylinder.
Just both. Both. You can send me both.
Okay,
yeah, just both.
I'll do
that.
Fine. Wu Train, the animal that was in there, it depends on which picture you're talking about. My first one that looked like a reptilian's face, it could be pareidolia. It could be a reptilian coming from the ground. I don't know. I just know that was the only time I caught it on my game cam, was that moment there. If you're talking about the cylinder one, that was my pit bull Thor. He was running whatever that shape was. He was running after it. Yeah, that was my pit bull Thor. He was running. Do or die, Scott. Semper Fi. Do or die. Hell yeah. He was running right at what that cylinder was. Oh, is there? I'll have to.
Uh-oh. I don't know if that's me or you. Is that me freezing up, or is it you freezing up, Eric? I don't understand. Something's going on here.
I'm moving fine. You're moving a little bit glitchy, but not. The center of the pic, no, that's my pit bull, Wu Train. That's my pit bull Thor. He's actually running right at that cylinder. I pulled it up to double check. I don't see an owl. I just see Thor. Thor and Romeo are very protective of this land. They patrol this land regularly, which makes it a pain in the butt because they like to run my deer off. And I don't like that. Huh. Yeah, I've done a lot, Wu Train. I've done a lot. Oh, we lost William. So Let's see if he comes back on. If not, we'll close it up, being he's having issues. Um, yeah, I'm an 0331. I was Sox, Scout Snipers, Yankee White, NBC, and MSE. My primary MOS was 0331. 0331. I was a 240 gunner. There he is. Let's see if we can get him back on. We may have to go ahead and just, we're over that hour and a half mark.
Okay. Well,
get him to,
we're gonna.
There you are.
Yeah, we're gonna have to end. Yeah, we're gonna have to end this pretty soon because with the high winds and stuff, I don't know what's going on here. Wu Train. Yeah, I know. I know Hampton Roads and area and Norfolk and all that very well. I used to be on Pier 13 down there, so. And I know the amphib base very well. Trust me. But yeah, we're gonna have to end this pretty soon here because for some reason the internet is getting real wacky. So, and that's a technical term.
No worries. Yeah, no worries. I kind of figured, Matt. That's what I was telling him. If we wasn't able to get you back on like we should have, then I was just going to go ahead and just have to shut it down because you wouldn't be able to get on. So yeah, I mean, I understand. We got a good time in. It's been a great show. I mean, you guys are freaking awesome. William is very blessed to have you all to be on his podcast. Just like I am blessed to have them all on mine that I have. You guys there's no one better than you guys in the world. So, I'm sure Williams thinks the same
Eric,
way I do.
let me say this real quick to everybody in the chat. Okay. Chat is our family. Yes, this is true. I love you all very much. But Tracy's health and my health has not been the greatest lately. I'm going through a lot right now. I'm actually have falls and passing out. And it's because of the mass on my brainstem. It's restricting parts of my body from functioning correctly all the time. And I have these lapses of I won't even be able to move my left side of my body or anything like that. So Eric, I want to ask you, you are a brother to me, a little big brother to me. But I wanted to ask you if you would carry on Nighthawk High Strangers podcast if I am unable to.
I would be honored.
Okay.
Yeah,
that is. I appreciate that.
I am touched that you had asked me to do that. That is a very high honor, and I appreciate it. And I don't want to see nothing happen to your podcast or your family. I'll do my best. I cannot be you by no means, but I'll do my best.
Well, you're doing just fine, brother. Trust me, you're doing just fine. As long as we have great family in the chat, like David and Melissa and Edna and Wu Train and Scott and Juno and Ray, and Ozzy Sue and everybody. We are going to have family with us every day. And to be honest with you all, when it is my time to go, I want you all to know how much you mean to me, okay, and how much you mean to my family. You have helped me stay focused through the hardest part of living in this body. And I don't want to come off sounding desperate, but it is like I'm walking both worlds now, okay, and there's not going to be long now until I own only walk one world. And, I just want you all to know how much you're appreciated and how much the chat family is part of this channel. That's how much you mean to me. My wife, Tracy, she has been going through hell with her own physical health, um, and then having to deal with mine on top of it. Um, and Dave and Melissa, yes, I have been utilizing the wheelchair. I want you to know. In fact, I sit in it every day. I come into the studio because I can't stand and I can't really depend on my legs.
Okay. Nine. You froze up on us, brother. You still there? We lost. Let's see if he comes back here in a
Appreciate.
second. There he is. Yeah, we had him.
Uh, Anyways, um,
There you are. Oh, lost you again. We lost you again, brother.
family. You are all, Scott, Ray, everybody. Um, Even War Criminal 7 was on the other day, on our podcast, and I loved it. I haven't talked to War Criminal 7 for a long time. I haven't talked to Camo Dad for a long time, and they are just as much family as everybody else in this chat. You guys, I've said it before and I'll say it again. You guys are getting me through a really, really bad time right now for me. And I want you all to carry on what we carry on here. I want everybody to realize that there's more to life than just going to work and coming home and fixing dinner and just going to bed. There is other life here. There's other things to see and experience here. And the closer I get to the other world, um, the stronger my spirit feels, but the worse my body feels. And I just, I just want you all to know how much you mean to me. So,
Yeah, you mean the world to us too, brother.
and that's why I turned my camera off because I didn't want you all seeing me bawling like a damn baby. But you know, um, you guys really have no idea the strength that I get from you all. And it's not like I'm using your energy or anything like that. It's just the strength that you all give me from the chat and from talking on the podcast and stuff. It means a lot to me. Okay. So I just wanted to put that out there.
Yeah, and we can, like I'm showing here in the chats, man. You are loved by many folks, brother. You really are. You've been you're a huge inspiration for me. Damn good brother to me. I mean, we all love you. I'm still holding on and we're going to have you for a heck of a lot longer, brother. I have faith in healing, and I believe that blessings are coming your way, and I want to hang on to that because yeah, I mean you still got a lot of knowledge to teach a lot of these people. I am but a
Yep.
pebble in the pond that you have created, and so to be on with you is a an honor that I can't really describe. So
Yeah,
you
but
are a
you put a million pebbles together and you have a mountain,
that
and
is
that's
right,
how a
brother.
mountain is formed. So
You are right,
that in
brother.
itself, that in itself means like we as Lakotas have a saying that as long as the grass grows and the rivers flow, you know, our sacred lands will be ours, and our way of life will be ours. And I've experienced probably more than what anyone has ever experienced, except others in the military that have know that what you go through when you're in wartime. And those of you that have worked with the special access programs know what you go through. And
Yeah.
I've done things in the military I'm not proud of. Um, and I always question myself, would I go to heaven if with what I did in the military? And
Yeah.
I just
I agree.
it's been a rough life. It really has, everybody. It's been a rough life. Um, it hasn't been easy on my family either with what I'm going through. And I really appreciate all the prayers. I really do. All the prayers and the good thoughts. So I just, I wanted you all to know that if something happened to me, you all know that, okay? That you all know that I felt that way. All right. So, that being said, um, before the internet crashes on us and we aren't able to say thank you to everybody for being here, and like, heart, and share this out if you can. Um, and remember that remember that you guys in the chat, our family, we love you guys, and as long as I have a breath left in my body, I will teach people what I know and what I've experienced in my life. It's like Doug Hychek and Alex Hychek dubbed me the paranormal warrior. But Dennis and I call ourselves, supernaturalists. So, there's several titles that we give ourselves, but I'm just a common man. I'm just I'm just a light that's trying to deal with a lot of darkness right now. And you know, I appreciate you guys so much. I really do. Okay. And this channel appreciates all the support you guys give, and all the love you give too, because Eric's a good dear friend and brother of mine now. Da Roberts is a good friend and brother of mine right now. I love him to death too. Robbie, Norman, Jessica, you guys are all family. The Blondes and Boo crew, Texas Front Porch, Michigan Rob. I mean, we're all one big family. And podcasts are we put these out to help people and to enlighten people and to try to show people that there is more to living than just what is with our blinders on. And you know Eric's channel, and Eric will be in charge of this channel if I can't do it anymore. um but it is what it is. And I'll go on trying to teach people how to work with their energy and stuff. And like I did the other night with the two shows, short shows back to back, the interdimensional beings, and then a war is coming. I don't know if you guys saw those yet or not, but you might want to watch them. because I start teaching people how to use and focus their energy. And that's an old Native American way of doing it. And it's kind of like the same thing that the monks in Nepal do with energy. It's along that lines. We have dear friends that are Midwest Night Watcher group, Dennis Carroll's group, their podcasts. We're all connected. Each one of these podcasts are connected to one another and in a certain circle. And that circle makes no one more important and no more valuable than any other because we're in that circle. You know, um, that's why Native Americans sat around in a circle around a fire. You know, because nobody was greater than one another. Everybody from the high chief to the medicine man to the child, we were all equal. You know, so it's yeah, and Sue, I know there is healing that is possible. I'm using everything my ancestors have taught me and my own bloodline has taught me right now, and I that and the good Lord is keeping me going. But
Somebody's looking for you.
oh,
He
Boo Boo.
He heard your voice, Jason.
Yeah. Okay, hold on. I got a special visitor.
You want to know where you were?
Jacob!
And my boy.
Yeah, I'm thirsty from all my bacon right now.
You eating bacon? You're out there eating bacon
No,
without
he's done-
Popeyes?
No, he's done eating bacon.
Oh, he's done eating bacon.
He's
Okay.
just thirsty.
I ain't even had no bacon today. Come on.
I love you. I love you. Yes, I do. I love you. You know that? I love you. You know that?
Here's Poppy. I told you.
Okay. There we go.
Maybe we'll get him. I don't know. I don't have him.
All right, hold on. I got him. There we go.
See? For Poppy.
All right. Jacob made an appearance. Yeah, he ate bacon, David, and he ate bacon. Oh.
Yeah, no,
Jacob
it's
says hello.
I can't do spam. Oh my god, I grew up so poor that we'd get spam from the local nuns when I was growing up. I can't do spam.
We grew up on spam around here, but there's a trick to it. You go to your local Chinese restaurant and you steal their sweet sour sauce.
Oh my gosh, man! I have ate
Or go
that
to
so
McDonald's.
much growing up. Yeah, we ate that so
Go
much
to
growing
McDonald's
up.
and there's dipping sauce. Yeah, yeah,
Mom loved it.
Yeah.
I just see my
Yep.
my body
Yep.
is weird though. Like I can't take regular painkillers. My body does not react well with that stuff. I get really, really sick, and it absolutely has zero relief of pain for me. I can't. I just like oxycodines, Rocosets. My body rejects that stuff. I do better on natural than I do on chemical. Chemotherapy, which people don't realize. Chemotherapy is not just cancer. Chemotherapy is using a chemical to alter a issue with your body. That is chemotherapy. So every time you pop a pill, take a shot, or whatever, you're dealing with chemotherapy. My body
Right.
just doesn't do good with it. That's
Right.
why I try to do as natural as much as possible.
Well, they had to.
No.
They had to stop the chemotherapy they were doing on me for my cancer because it was attacking my body, all the helpful parts of my body.
Yeah.
So they had to stop the chemotherapy for that. So because chemotherapy through cancer, I mean, it destroys everything. It doesn't just destroy the cancer; it goes after everything. And if it finds something in your body or your body reacts to it in a certain way, um, it'll attack other things in your body. So they stopped that from me.
Yeah.
And they increased the radiation when I was going through the radiation. So I can't even have any more than like a one CT scan or MRI a year now because of the radiation in my body.
Oh, bet.
Um,
Nine.
so,
Yeah,
but
it's my body just doesn't do good with it. I mean, and I guess it's because when you're introducing a synthetic form of a natural substance, um, your body naturally tells you this is not good, this is not right, this is not natural. So I think that's what happens whenever I try to take something like that is my body saying, "Oh, we don't like this, dude. We need to stop."
right, yeah, exactly. Well, we
So
have been on for almost 2 hours now, and I gotta. I'm getting a harder time to breathe, but I just everybody, you all in the chat, our family. It's good to see Sue here. Thank you, and Beludo. Where did that go? Where did that go? Let's see. Yep, there it is. Blue Doe one. Haven't seen in a while. Um, did they ever? I have to ask Blue Doe. Did you ever get the stickers that I sent? Okay, because I sent out a sticker pack to you a couple months back. If not, let me know because a lot of people are. You see, I mail a lot of the stuff out, and I'm putting together more and more and more every day, for everybody in the family. And well, Blue Dose, send me your mailing address again, okay? Because I'm going to send it out again to you. Um, and Eric, I'm going to put together a package to you too. Um, and let me see here. Who else did I send stickers to?
stop at nine.
Trying to remember. I mailed out 4 envelopes the other month. At the end of February. I mean the end of January from one of the podcasts from the four that were picked. Um, who was that? Who was that? I got to figure out who that was. I have sent. I have sent. Okay, let me see. I have a list here somewhere. I know I do.
I get you like a baby now. I get you like a baby now. What you gonna do? I get you like a baby now. What you gonna do? I get you like a baby now.
Yeah, Blue Doe. In that pack that I sent you, I sent the sticker, the Stay Weird sticker too. And you never got that, huh? See, that's. Oh God, I hate the postal service. The postal service is not the same agency it was years ago. They have gotten ridiculous with losing stuff. Um, but everyone that send it to my email, your address again, Blue Doe, and because I don't know if I still have it, but send it to Lakota Man 333 at gmail.com. Okay. LakotaMan333 at gmail.com.
Huh. Why did that kick me out of there? That's interesting.
Yeah, this is true. But anyways, yeah, I kind of that upsets me too because I'm paying, because stamps aren't cheap anymore. And you'd think the postal service would be getting better with the increase in price and stuff, but they're getting worse. So, but yeah, I'm gonna be
Yeah.
putting that together for you again, Bluto, and we'll get it back out to you and see. Oh, it's driving me freaking bonkers. There's a couple people out there that didn't receive their stuff yet, so I'm gonna have to go through everything and figure out what's going on. So, but thank you everybody for being here. Eric, if you want to go ahead and let them know what your about your channel and your books and stuff like that, and where they can find them.
Mhm. So my YouTube channel is called The Bizarre and the Unknown. If you go on YouTube and you look that up, you find that logo. That's the logo I personally made. That's me. I do 2 different shows a week. I do on Friday nights at 5 o'clock. Forgive me, I pause on time. I'm so used to saying military, so if I ever slip up and say 1700 or 2000, because that's the time frame I always talk on. So I got to remember not everybody knows military or 24-hour time. So Saturdays at 5 o'clock, I do what's a non-formal. It's just kind of us getting together, having a good time, like we're sitting around a campfire talking about encounters, and it's called Campfire Chats with Eric and Guest. Sunday nights, I do the Bizarre and the Unknown, which is my formal stuff, and that's on anything that is cryptid, supernatural, paranormal, mythological, folklore, or just a bizarre itself. Jesus Payon Jr. is going to be back on with me tonight. So we'll have him back on for Giants Part 2, where we're going to talk about, giants and stuff that he's found and anything else that we decide to talk about.
Good,
Don't
awesome.
understand that.
And of course,
Yeah.
of course, you all can see Eric here too on our channel here on the Paranormal Weekend Morning Brew shows, and this is like us sitting around the coffee table, basically talking about everything weird. I could probably just call it the Weird Morning Show, and it'd be a good title for it right there. So,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
it is what it is. We have the podcast Into the Red Rabbit Hole Friday night at 11 p.m. Eastern time. Late night, and that goes on about conspiracy theories and stuff like that with me and Carlito, and sometimes me and Eric will do it. Depending on if he's not working the next day or not. But we also have occasionally I pop on with like a paranormal news broadcast, or I'll do like a Becoming Monsters or Midnight Monsters, where I can't sleep and I'll come on at midnight and do a live, and I just can't sleep, and we'll talk about monsters and the dark and stuff like that. But also, if you want to help with medical bills, medical expenses, for me, I'm going to pop this up. You don't have to, and I don't expect anybody to help. Okay, but and I don't mean that in a bad way. I just don't. I just put this up just in case somebody feels a need to donate. Okay, so don't think that you have to. Okay, I don't want anybody to assume they have to donate, because they don't have to. Okay, so but I mean, the medical bills, it is what it is. um, I've got still got an MRI coming up, and of my brain, probably next week. I'll be going through that, and I'll know more about what's going on. And as soon as I find out, I will let everybody know. Eric, you'll be the other than my wife Tracy and the kid and the boys knowing about it. You'll be the next person to know, Eric. Okay, so you can pass it on to DA and everybody, and Robbie and them. And I look forward to seeing you all. And seeing everybody in chats, like in Dennis's chats. I see everybody, and sometimes I get on Midwest Night Watchers podcast too, and in the chat. So, and of course Jessica and DA's chats and all that. So I look forward to interacting with people there too. So let's remember, everybody. It is Sunday. So please and try to relax and enjoy the rest of your Sunday, everybody. Question everything. Please question everything. Okay. Don't naturally assume everything is paranormal and everything is supernatural. Just question it. You have the ability within you. You have your energy within you, your chi within you, that can get you on the path of knowing what to do when you're confronted with these weird and strange things. And the weird and the strange is going to get a lot more darker and evil as time goes on. So it's been my thing to try and help people deal with that, and to teach them. So it's been my honor. Me and Eric love you all very much, and Tracy loves you all, and Jacob loves you all. So remember that. Have a great rest of your weekend, and we will see you next time. I have a Bigfoot podcast coming up on the 26th. It's going to be about everything, Native American aspect of Bigfoot. Okay. And that's going to be a good one. So look for that one. Okay. And I will see you all next time here on the podcast. Okay. Take care, everybody.